Hey guys, it's Jed Johnson from dieselcrew.com. I've got a pretty cool announcement to make. Maybe about 2 years ago, you may have seen something online about a movie that was being made called Bending Steel. And after about 2 years now, finally this movie is about to be released to the public. It's going to be shown primarily at film festivals. I have a copy of the movie. During the pre-production phase, or whatever it's called, they asked for donations, and I donated to the filmmaking process. So I ended up getting a copy of the movie, and I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times in completion. Now, I've never sat down and just watched the whole thing. I haven't done that with a movie in I don't know how long. But what I do is, while I'm working, when it's time to eat, I'll sit down, throw on the TV, and I'll play the movie. So I enjoy watching the movie. And I want to encourage everybody else to go check it out. So let's go over when it's going to be. It's going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival. And the world premiere will be on April 20th at 5:30 p.m. And there will be 3 additional screenings over the course of the week. So tickets go on sale April 9th for American Express card holders and April 15th for the general public. And for more information, you can go here. So what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description box below this video, and if you're interested, you can go get tickets. Now there's also going to be an international premiere. That will be in Toronto, Canada, at something that's called Hot Docs, which I believe is just another film festival. And that will take place on April 26th at 3 p.m. There will be 2 other screenings during the week in addition to that, and I'll put the information for that one down as well. So, real quick, if you haven't seen the movie, what it is, it's about a beginning strongman. And what I mean by strongman is someone who performs feats for an audience. It's also called strongmanism. But about 2 years ago, they started making this movie. It's about Chris Sheck, that's his name. And I don't know if you've heard of him before, outside of promotion for this movie or not. But he is your normal strongman in that he bends nails, wrenches, steel bars and things like that, except for he's very small. Now I know you've heard of Dennis Rogers. I believe he's about 165, 170 pounds. Chris Sheck is only like 150, 155 pounds. So he's even lighter than Dennis. And Dennis might actually be a little bit bigger than that, maybe even around 180 pounds. I'm not quite sure. But this guy is a rather small guy, and he's able to perform many of the same feats of strength that other performing strongmen are able to perform along the lines of the bending. Okay, that's his specialty, bending. He does some card tearing in the movie. But one thing that's kind of cool about this is when I was at the York Barbell Museum in 2011, when they inducted Slim the Hammerman and the Mighty Atom into the Hall of Fame, they were actually shooting for this movie, and parts of the ceremony for Slim and for the Mighty Atom end up in the movie. And I remember there was one point where we were outside and we were doing grip feats in one area, and over at another area they were doing bending feats, and you can see some of the people standing around that I remember seeing there. And they were, Chris was bending things. Chris Ryder, who also has a very prominent role in the movie, he was bending things. Lots of people were bending. And you end up seeing a lot of different people in this documentary that you may have heard of or seen online. So I've already mentioned Dennis Rogers, Slim the Hammerman Farman. They're both in the movie. Chris Ryder is in the movie. You see Pat Povolitis in the movie. You see a good friend of mine, John Menino, is in the movie. Greg Matonic was in the movie. He's since passed away. So many other people. Sonny Berry is in the movie. Tommy Heslop is in the movie. Lots of people. Steve Weiner is in the movie. The names just go on and on as far as the people that most of us would recognize as people in the United States that are readily performing feats of strength shows. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. Gary Brown, the Brick Man, is in the movie. Lots of different people are in the movie. It's kind of cool. You know, I've been around long enough that I've met a lot of people, and it's cool to be watching a movie and they're in the movie. I did not make the movie, and I think I was maybe one person too far to the left to make it into the movie as we were sitting in the stands watching the Hall of Fame ceremony. Plus, I didn't venture over to the table where they were doing the bending feats because, like I said, I was doing, you know, I was lifting inch dumbbells and blobs and things like that. But you get to follow, the story is this. Chris Sheck is developing his show. You get to watch the process, how he develops that. Chris Ryder is coaching him. You know, Chris Sheck is the apprentice of Chris Ryder throughout the movie. You get to see how, you get to look a little bit into the mental aspect of feats of strength. You walk through this very, very closely with Chris and Chris Sheck as he discusses this and the mental side. That's one of the things I really like about the movie. To be honest, some of you may not like this movie. Chris Sheck is not necessarily the most warm-hearted person. He talks about that. You know, he doesn't have a ton of friends. He talks about how he's kind of a loner. So he kind of becomes like the anti-hero in the movie, if you will. He's not a real dick. He doesn't insult people or anything like that. It's just that he doesn't go out of the way to make a bunch of friends or have a bunch of interpersonal relationships. And actually, that's something that a lot of us might identify with. So the movie's very real. There's not a ton of drama in it. There is a little bit, but not too much. It's not overly dramatic. It all leads up to putting on a strongman show at Coney Island, which back in the day, Coney Island was one of the main places where you would see a lot of strongman shows, and they pretty much don't go on there anymore. Well, they might now, but up until the point of the making of this movie, they were not going on. So it all leads up to a show that takes place for the first time after several years at Coney Island. So I strongly suggest, if you're able to make it to these film festivals, to go ahead and check this movie out. Like I said, I've watched it over and over and over. And, you know, I've really enjoyed it. And I've told the directors that. And I asked about whether or not you'd be able to buy DVDs, and I haven't gotten an answer back yet. So right now, the only way to watch this movie is if A, you've already you know, helped with the production of the movie and they've sent you a copy, or if you go to the screenings. So like I said, I will put the information below. If you're interested, check that out, and I hope you check it out. When you do, when you see it, be sure to come back here and leave a comment or shoot me a note somewhere. I'd like to hear what you thought as well. Alright, the movie is Bending Steel. It's about Chris Sheck and his journey into the world of being a performing strongman and strongmanism. Alright, pretty cool. I like watching it. Alright, thanks a lot for checking out this video. All the best in your training. Take care.